This is my first time out to these brand new horse owners. They went and tried these two horses out, and they were great when they tried them out. And unfortunately, the dealers that sold them these two horses, they said they'd come to their house and help them and teach them everything they needed to know about being horse owners. And instead, they just dropped them off and took off. And did not spend the time. So the owner of this horses came out and worked with me with my horses that are trained, and I was trying to teach her handling things, leading, all this stuff. And I asked if she'd been practicing on her own horses, and she said no, because she can't catch them. So she had, I want to say, 3 or 4 lessons with me before I came out to her house to work with these horses. So you have 2 new horse owners that have a great facility, but have no idea of how horses think and behave. When these horses were dropped off, she had another rescue horse that somebody kind of dumped on her, and they all were in together, biting, kicking. She said she couldn't even watch for a few days. So I feel like I have to preface this video because the owners have no idea, even though they see the herd behavior, like why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I was able to catch these horses because we tricked them into this pen with grain. So teaching them it was how to catch these horses was a lot easier because I had them online to begin with. That doesn't always happen. So I worked with a lot of this ground stuff first before I turned them loose, and then caught them, catch and release, caught them, let them go, caught them, let them go. But a new horse owner is not going to do it correctly. Even people that have had horses, when they round pen them per se, and I'm treating this like a big round pen, they push them too hard. In a 60-foot round pen, they can push them right over the fence. These horses could have jumped over the fence if they wanted to. She had told me that her other rescue horse actually jumped into the pen one day because her 2 horses must have been chasing it. So, prefacing this video, because these people don't have any idea what a horse trainer like me is going to do with their horses. And they were friendly if you could catch them. And they already had an accident on this big horse. He's a nice horse, but how do I know that? Because the owners lied, the sellers rather, lied to these people. So I have no idea if he's going to try to kick me when I'm working with them, going into a total unknown. You know, I only had to drive a half an hour to go work with these 2 horses, but again, a total unknown. And their vet even warned them, you know, and told them, why would they sell you these 2 nice looking horses, you know, if there wasn't a problem with them. So we don't know if it's a physical problem or a behavioral problem, but again, they couldn't catch them without tricking them with grain. So I hope you enjoy the video. There's a lot of tips in here, and you'll see how I work with them to catch them. I thought I was coming into these wild horses I wasn't going to be able to touch. But since she tricked him in with grain, he's like a pussycat one. And she told me once he's caught, if you can catch him. I'm going to put that on the ground. My grain quarters. So I like to start with them on a line and not just throw him out. I want him to want to hang with me. at him, and that scared him. Good. He's like, you're scaring me. But when I take this line off, I'm not going to go left because odds are he won't come follow me. If I go left, he's going to say bye. If I turn him to the right, bite. Don't leave, right. If I just turn him to the right, good boy. More after me when I turn him loose. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Very, very good.
He seems like crazy sometimes.
What's that?
He seems nervous.
He's very nervous. Very nervous. Wouldn't you be? Good boy. Good boy, I know. Good. Good. So he's eventually going to run once he knows he's loose. But the more I can hang with him and pet him and say, hey, it's better being with me than being away from me. When I turn the other way, I put my rope in the other hand. That's how I train Bob. You got him trained like that, don't you?
Who's that?
You got Rocco trained like that, don't you, right?
Yeah.
Right, so it's really tough when you send him off. Well, he's gonna take off, but hopefully I get him right back.
How do you send him off?
Gently.
You're not going to scare him.
She might be scared, but I'm gonna send him off gently.
Hey.
You want to?
Right there, yep.
He's going to be happy with the fact that this is not an accurate scenario.
All right, so if you're not looking, you're leaving. I'm the one driving.
Left me back on race.
So when he passes me, I go over.
Now, is he running because you made him run?
Yes and no.
I mean, because it looked like he was ready to be caught when you walked in.
Yeah, I probably could have caught him, but you got to get this solved.
Right.
So when he looks, I draw back. When he ran, I never jump in front of him. I wait for him to go, then I come to the other side. That gives him all day to make that turn. So now I'll start coming off serpentine. So I don't go right up to him. When I come this way, my tool's in his hand.
Nervous pooping. What are you doing? Are you eating my hat?
Right there, I'm gonna drop.
She's got teeth out, be careful.
Important.
Hi, my friend.
Give him a chance to look. You're not looking, you're leaving. Yeah. Yeah. When he passes, oh, you want to?
Is she getting him wound up on purpose?
I don't know.
It's more he's not paying attention to her. So, like, yes and no. She doesn't want to. It seems like she's just doing it to...
I'm afraid he's gonna run through the town.
Me too. Especially if he's coming this way.
I know, the ground is icy and...
It looks like lunging him.
Say so.
He looked.
So I'm passive when I'm walking up. I'm just gonna touch and leave. If he doesn't find me, I'm gonna draw back. Yeah! Pressure. I'm a serpentine. So I serpentine until I can walk straight up. So right there, he goes, I'm leaving. See, let me leave. Let me back up. Because he is looking to go.
Yeah, that's what she told me. So when she approaches and he looks away, he's getting ready to go, so she backs up
And I'm
first.
not hiding my tools, right? I'm not hiding my rope. So if I can walk straight up, I'll walk straight up. But if he starts to leave, I go into my serpentine. And that's more passive. Head toward hindquarters. So when I say head toward hindquarters, that's out of kicking distance. I'm not walking up to his ass, I'm just heading toward his ass.
He looks like he'd rather please you than...
Yeah, he's learning it, right? He's learning. Well, a halter. So again, that's another thing when you're doing the halter. Like, oh no, you got a halter now? Whoop, whoop.
He was so patient. We put that bit in and out of his mouth like 5 times.
Kathy, your battery's running low. Just-
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't just try to halter him. Let me show it to him. Take it away. wanting to drop his head. So I'm using pressure. Release my fingernail. I'm just going to put it on now. But eventually, because I don't have all the tools. Like the rope. So the principle will still work when he's out in the big pen once you prove it to him in here over and over. See, at first he's like, I'm running, I run from these guys, they can't catch me, none of that. Instead, I'm going, no, I'm driving you. I'm making you turn that way, I'm making you turn that way. I'm actually putting the pressure on you. And when he looks, I draw back and take that pressure off so he can turn and face.
So you drive him as long as he's not looking at you. When he's looking at
Not
you, you
as
back
long.
off.
What I do is one lap. It's hard because he stopped here, but normally one lap, one direction, one lap, the other ass. He says this, then we do 2 laps and 2 laps, and then an ass. I don't run him into the ground. He looks humble, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, they were really lovely. Your personality is, you know what I mean? You
Right.
instill confidence in the horse.
Right.
A month with me, they'll come undone and be a wreck like you know.
Right. So that's why you gotta learn
You
that.
got to spend time with him.
Yeah, and learn that. Oh my. So we'll trade and then we'll swap. I did it, but I want to have my rope. You're fine. Good boy. So I want to stop and pet on him as much as I can when he's following me around. Back right away.
He went off pretty well. You didn't have to harass him like the other guy.
So as I'm walking up, if he starts to walk away or back up, I'll serpentine. Right? Rope goes in the faraway hand. So right there, I have to draw back. If he goes a few steps closer, I'm leaving. So I'll go a little wider. Head toward hindquarters if his butt moves off the rail. I don't go through there if his butt don't move off the rail. So I'm going to go to the other side. And the other thing that I could do is take him gently by the halter and move his butt off the rail. So see it moved off so I can safely go through. So when we get in his blind spot, he has to find me. Good. So if he looks, he doesn't get driven. I can't see his eyes. Draw back until I know he said no. So now, yeah. This is when I use my voice. And run as fast as yeah. Yeah. I'm changing them from the back of the pen. That's still not, just that's not jumping in front of me. I'm gonna come over here. Find this thing that tree.
What are we doing? Are we making him run all over the place?
Because he's not paying attention, I think is the synopsis of it. Also, if he's the more jacked up he is, the harder it'll be for her to catch, and she'll know, like, what's his threshold, too. It's like recreating a paddock scenario where he's already jacked up.
Right or left and head behind his hindquarters. Out if you can get him. I'm gonna hop out of the pen and make up.
Actually do whatever you want, and because they don't want to be driven.
Most horses don't want to, but so right here, kiss, draw back. He's drawn back till he says no. Yeah. Now I'm gonna change him on the end of the pen. Yeah.
Think about it.
And if he didn't slow down there, I would have put the stick in front of him, which he would have run off. But I don't want him running. So here again, I draw back because I don't want him just taking off. So that's good for today. Yeah, I don't want you to do it, but you can see I can teach you to catch. But you should learn it with my horses because we can do it. It'll be in slow motion.
No, that's
because you can't learn with it fast.
But can I guess the big question is, because in all this time they're not being ridden at all.
Yeah.
Can they be ridden at all? I mean, in addition to these horsemanship lessons, like, can I tack them and ride them?
If you can't communicate with them to walk and haul, I would say no.
Okay.
I'm saying you're putting yourself at risk.
Okay.
You have no communication. If I disable my brakes in that truck, you want to get in it and drive it down or get in the airplane the first time without knowing.
And you can't gain any of that trust and control on their back. It's all groundwork first.
Not necessarily. But you don't know the buttons to push. You said this horse got all kind of buttons. So, like, you know, if you put you're fine. And I ain't gonna hang on if you try to go. If you put your foot here, that moves the front. And if you put your foot here, that moves the hindquarters. It's supposed to move the hindquarters. And then here, sideways. So he's got buttons. You know where they are.
Right.
So you confuse them, just like you see when people are riding my horses. And they start going around like an amoeba in a petri dish. Right? Because you're not looking up, so. Close your eyes.
He wanted a kiss.
A candy kiss.
No, he wanted an actual kiss.
Oh.
Yeah, he likes to nuzzle. He's okay.
Well, so does
We
mine.
only went for one horse. And then because he was a nuzzler and was well behaved and such a good one, it was Rocco's idea that we should have two. Of course.
Wanting him to understand, and now he's like, that is fear. I want him to understand, like you said, he didn't understand the wiggle. If I do this, that's what teaches him to understand the wiggle.
Right.
So he goes, I get that kicking thing. You know, mares do that. They go. So just having him respect and back up. Again, I won't kick at him again. 1, 2, right? Good boy. Back. Last hand. Hammer down. So he's actually very sensitive. Good boy. Good boy. So I'm just letting him smell me because he's afraid now. I don't want to be afraid of him. I don't want him afraid of me. But I want to establish right away I'm her leader. Right? He's licking, that's all good signs. So he's not getting indignant saying, who do you think you are pushing me around? He's saying, yes, look at those two. You could watch those all day. Back. Good boy. You're fine. Walk on. Good. Yep. Out in front of his nose to back up. Back. Good. What about it?
You've been walking in front of him a lot this whole time?
Yeah.
And a lot of what we were doing is the shoulder walking. What's the, if you could just tell me the different logic
The
behind
difference,
that?
I'm bringing him with me to move stuff. The other thing with the back up, right, I make him stay a certain distance, so I'll walk in front and I'll check.
Okay.
All right, so the reason I didn't practice that with you, I might have is because my horses are trained and respectful of space. And every horse I will walk ahead, just like say in the winter time, and I have a little path that we can't walk together, didn't I mention something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see, and you have to
So
navigate.
that's when you've seen me walk ahead of him. So I tell him wait, like, and if he doesn't know, he'll figure it out, right? Don't move. Don't move. Now move. Walk behind on the little path. Check. Okay. So I check him by doing that. Make sure he doesn't overtake me, right? Because I don't want him right behind me. So that's just another thing to get respect on a horse, is to be able to walk way out ahead. People that own maybe really fractious horses that you can't lead. Now I want to get up with him. That you can't lead shoulder to shoulder. See, I'm not asking him to back up. Good. Horses that you can't lead safely from here because people are doing this and they're like fire-breathing dragons, almost stepping on them. This is the position I like to lead a horse in, because you saw earlier I can make him get away from me, I am always telling him in this position, I asked him to stop. He didn't like that push.
Is he pouting?
Huh?
Is he pouting?
No, he's scared. He's sensitive. She goes, that was a little aggressive.
What did you correct him for? I didn't see it.
Because when I walked and he started to go ahead of me, I
Oh.
said, slow down. And he kept going. So I said, that's me yelling, slow down. He has to stay with me. Like here, he can't drag me, right? So that little bump was just a warning for him to slow down.
Okay.
He didn't know. So this is my safe position as long as the horse is not like with his feet in the air or that he's going to kick me. When I don't know, this is a safe position. If I'm way out here and my horse respects me enough to stop when I go stop. Otherwise, you're putting yourself in a position to get run over.